All right, ladies, we are smack dab in the middle of our final week in our 21-day challenge. So I hope things have gone really well for you so far. I hope that you've watched the other bonus trainings that I recorded each week up to now as well, because it's sort of lending into the conversation that we're going to have today. So during week one, we talked about having all of the right information in place in order to have the confidence that the plan that you're following, the things that you're eating, the exercises that you're following, all of the logistical things you're putting in place are sound, right? So not only helping you to lose weight and drop inches and things like that, but also to make sure that the medical side of things is going well too. You're not just going to wake up with high cholesterol one day because keto sounded like a good idea, and all of these little things, like avoiding all of these issues. That's really good when you have the right information put into place for you. Okay. Then during week two, we talked about how important it is to have the right mindset going into this and really being open to making some changes to your lifestyle, really adopting the things that you're doing as a part of your new life, right? Right. What we're building here is not another diet that you're either on or you're off. It is really something that you're just implementing day to day and just becomes a part of your regular routine, right? And if you can think about it from that aspect and have this ideal in your head of like, these are the things I do every day, no matter what, right? And so that was really the second part, right? So the third part, and what really brings those two things together well, getting the right advice, having the right mindset, and keeping that right mindset is really having that support system around you. Okay. So let's talk about why you need support. And maybe some of this is, things you've heard before, maybe not. But here's why I see the need for support is so strong with the clients that I work with, and just the things that we work on a regular basis, and why that makes such a difference. So really, the first one is just sheer logistics, right? So making sure you have those education details right, making sure that the plan is sound, making sure that the roadmap that you're following is going to get you there quickly and efficiently and with as little upheaval of your life as possible, right? I think the worst thing that you can do is try to pick a diet program that is asking you to be a completely different person, because that is not the goal here, right? You are fine the way that you are. You're a good person for a number of other reasons. And, adding onto that task list and doing more is overwhelming. And it's certainly not something that you're going to be able to follow through with long term, right? So we need to make sure that all of that stuff is into place, right? And so working with you more individually to make sure that we're going around all the little details that make you unique to other people in the program is really important, right? It's also important for the emotional stuff that's going on, those I don't want to days, and all of these times that you want to give up and you say, oh, I don't know why I'm doing this. I'm not really seeing much happening anyway. Why should I be avoiding eating this cookie if, it's not helping me anyway? All of those bad days and all of those negative thought spirals that you get into, it's really important to have the support around you so that we can pull you out of that, right? So just having somebody to talk to about it and someone to say, you know what, you're just having a bad day. And I can see that, yes, you're having a bad day, but tomorrow will be better. The day after that will be better. And you just got to kind of stay the course throughout and just be that person to be there for you, right? And then the third one is really this social aspect of this. So we cannot forget that we are human. As humans, we're community creatures, right? We really thrive in groups. We need community connections, friends, family, coworkers, things like that. And we tend to follow the same ideals as the group that we're in. Okay. And so if you have like-minded people around you that are also in the avenue of trying to lose weight, who are up for health and wellness and really are living a lifestyle that you admire or you envy, or any of those words, whatever the correct term for that would be, then it's going to be much easier for you to focus in on your goals, right? So really the goal for all three of these types of support is to keep you focused and keep you energized and moving towards your goal when in a life prior, maybe you were not receiving that support. Okay. So let's talk a little bit about some passive methods of support. So these are kind of just really base level things, very simple things that you can just have going on in the background that can be really helpful for you. Okay. So this is the simplest form of support, and these can really be a part of your daily life. Doesn't need to be anything major that you're adding. It can just be a matter of, filling your Instagram account with, or filling your Instagram feed, following accounts that are inspiring to you, things that kind of keep you focused on the fact that you are trying to make some changes to your life, and seeing other people do it can be really motivating to help you do that. My account for Instagram, and both for Facebook too, is like all of that, because the things that I search for online are, new things with weight loss, and what are people talking about with weight loss and all of this stuff. So inherently my feed just kind of fills with that naturally as well. And there are accounts that I unfollow because they're completely unrealistic and, don't jive with me, and that's fine. But it can be nice, just even in your passive moments where you're having some downtime, to take 5 minutes and scroll and be like, oh yeah, they're doing that. Maybe I should probably do that today as well. Whereas before, if you were looking at silly cat videos and things like that, the thoughts of getting off the couch and going for a walk are much less likely, right? And so it's just kind of these little reminders during the day that you can get with your social media account. Maybe it's subscribing to like Eating Well magazine and getting recipes in your mailbox once a month, something like that. I don't Do magazines even exist anymore? Do people get magazines? I don't know. You can do this online as well. Newsletters, same sort of thing. So even subscribing to my newsletter and following the stuff that I'm doing weekly, that can be just a passive reminder, like just keeping this kind of stuff top of mind for you as well. I think the most beneficial thing for me over the years has been daily reading. And I talk about this a lot in my program as well, and I have recommendations for that too. So just having this practice of, aiming for like a half an hour or 10 pages, whichever comes first, kind of depends on the book. But just reading something that is elevating you in some way. And so I kind of gravitate towards what would be considered, I guess, self-help books, but things that are like Atomic Habits by James Clear. That's a really good one, just for like changing your daily routine in minute ways. But then I'll rotate into what do I have here now? I have my sports nutrition book behind me here, because I'm starting to work with a marathon runner, so I'm kind of brushing up on that kind of stuff and being interested in that. It can really be anything. So I would say having this be in the realm of elevating your goal, educating you more towards your goal, that kind of thing, versus like, you know, romance novels, things like that, that may not be quite as helpful for keeping you focused on your goal and things like that. So all of that can be part of your routine. So here are some just simple ways to put that in there. Like making that daily reading goal, for example. So I either do 10 pages or a half hour, usually whichever comes first. You can challenge yourself to find and try a new recipe on a weekly basis. That's relatively simple. As I said, scrolling social for a reasonable amount of time and filling that feed with things that are inspiring and focusing you on your weight loss goal can be helpful. Newsletters are good. And then one final one would be meditation as well. So we talked before about this idea of setting your intentions and really getting clear on what it is that you want and visualizing that happening. And it's really amazing what just 10 or 15 minutes a day can really set the tone and change your actions and your intentions for the day, just in a short bit of time, right? So even just sitting still and just having this time to yourself and saying, all right, I'm going to sit here and just think about what it is I want out of this process, sets you in a completely different direction for the rest of the day. All right. So let's move into some more, let's say, complicated ways of getting your support. So this is going to require a little bit more effort on your part to put this kind of stuff in place. Okay. So things that you can do. we're generally people oriented, right? So whatever the group is doing, let's say you have a group of friends that always go out to dinner and get the wine and all of that kind of stuff. We have to bring that social aspect into this because it makes it more enjoyable inherently, right? So the more like-minded people that you hang out with, when it comes to whatever change you're trying to make, if you're also sitting there with someone who's also trying to lose weight or someone who has done it or somebody who basically mirrors the type of lifestyle that you're looking to have, the more good habits are that are going to stick and the more things that are going to grow out of that as well. So just think about the people that you see on a regular basis. And keep in mind, this is not um, a call to remove people that don't really support that kind of lifestyle out of your life. All right. But just think about the people that you see. So friends, spouses, coworkers, and just think about each one of them individually and ask yourself, do their habits and views around health and wellness match mine or what I'm aiming to accomplish here? And if they do, then that's awesome. If not, that's okay too. Simply just aim to have a little bit more quality time with the people that are going to elevate you and who are more naturally supportive of a healthy lifestyle. And that can be really simple. That could just be, if it comes to like your coworker group or something like that, sitting with that person at lunch, picking their brain about what they're eating, that kind of stuff can be a really simple way to do that. But it could also be saying like, hey, I see you go out for a walk at lunchtime. Can I join you? That kind of thing. Maybe it's meeting a friend that is a little more healthy generally, going out with them for dinner a little bit more. So rather than going out to like, the bar that only has burgers or whatever it happens to be, and you tend to go overboard in situations like that, find someone who's willing to go to a different place that has some more options. Maybe they're already going there. That kind of thing can really shift a lot. And like I said, not a call to remove all of these other people from your life. But if you can think about making sure that you're being careful with the time and how that kind of relationship is influencing you, I think it's just really important to take a look at as well. Okay. Other ways this can come into play, like getting a workout buddy with you, helping you to remain accountable to whatever goals. So, I have had people in the past within this, oh my gosh, losing my train of thought here altogether. Within my 12-week program that latched on to each other very quickly. So we have an exclusive Facebook that everyone who's in the program can join and they kind of talk through things there. But they've actually created walking groups. So there's a few that are local here in Colchester where I live, who regularly still work out together. And that was, I think they all graduated within the last 3 to 6 months altogether, and they're still hanging out. So I think that's pretty awesome as well. Let's see. I also had someone one time who recruited a friend for meal prep as well. And so they both had similar goals in terms of wanting to pack better lunches for themselves. And so they'd get together on the weekend and it was a social affair. They'd hang out and talk and whatever. And they would just prep a few meals for the week, get everything put in containers and whatever else. But it, again, was more of just a chance to be social in that as well while accomplishing a similar goal. So lots of different ways. Certainly you can get creative with that and tailor it around what you feel like you need the most support with. So if you're struggling with something particular, like committing to your workouts, focus on figuring out how to get that support in that area the most. All right, and then let's talk a little bit about personal support here. So AKA this is about coaching, right? So this is working with someone very specific in order to make sure that you're reaching your goal. So I'm a registered dietitian. You can also work with certified personal trainers. Your doctor is there, part of your support team as well. Anything that you're in need of. So chiropractor, massage, PT, really any sort of allied health support network that you need, really depending on what kind of things you're dealing with, is really going to make sure that you're getting the most tailored program for you. All right. So these practitioners can help you with whatever you're working on along the way. And basically, this is going to expedite your ability to get to your goal, right? So you're saving time, you're, using the knowledge of these professionals, using what they already know to help you skip unnecessary steps, to skip pitfalls like fad diets and all of these other things that we have either experienced personally or we know inherently can be bad for you, right? And so we're soaking up that knowledge. You're getting it right the first time. You're saving a hell of a lot of time on that. It's also saving you money because you're not wasting your money on, random meal plans and things that you see online, workout programs and stuff like that. That essentially don't work because it's not putting your needs specifically at the top of the totem pole, right? We're also avoiding problems, right? So I think one of the biggest things that I see as a dietitian is, these fad diets and these quick fix diets that come out, and just looking at the type of nutrition that you see and foreseeing issues happening ahead of time, right? So keto, for example, it's a very high fat diet. What do they tell you to avoid when you have high cholesterol? Fat, right? You cannot justify high cholesterol just because you're doing keto. It's not healthy for you. Okay. And so you're avoiding problems down the line, following diets that are ultimately not sustainable because it's affecting your health. You need to back off on that. You end up gaining the weight back, and you're exactly where you started, right? So again, saving you time and effort, right? And I think the biggest thing is working really with your specific issues, right? So working on individualized care for any medical conditions that you have, any physical limitations that you've got, whatever your mindset issues are, whatever your logistics issues are, what we do for, single moms of 3 kids versus a single woman who is by herself and has no kids. Those are completely different obstacles that you're facing, and we have to deal with them each individually as well. So we're working on all that individually as a provider network in general. But I wanted to share a little bit about what I do a little bit more. So I've talked about my 12-week program a little bit in each of our trainings here as well. So I do offer a 12-week fully online program. So it's on-demand nutrition education. We have this whole portal through Thinkific. It's basically like the one that you have now, way more involved over a 12-week plan in that as well. And then I'm working with each of my clients individually on a weekly basis as well. So they're going through those modules week to week. They're learning different things and implementing different things, but I'm there checking in with them, making sure that everything is going well. Individually, we're setting additional goals as needed. We are changing and tweaking plans as needed because everyone's a little bit different. And it's true that no 2 clients ever leave exactly the same. So I can give them the same information, but what they do with it is completely different, which is something that's really kind of cool as well. We're also doing a lot of planning. We're problem solving. We have that support network in the Facebook group as well. So really bringing in that community effort for this as well. And on a weekly basis, we're also doing this additional mindset training and keeping that top of mind, keeping you focused, energized, and focused on that goal ultimately as well. So today I outline what it really takes to build that strong support network, which does include the help of a professional. I really feel like you need all 3 of those things: the passive, the active, and then the professional support to really make a good effort of this. The people that do that see the best results. They see it last longer and they see it happen quicker. Okay. So I'd be honored to see you apply for the 12-week program, having come through this 3-week program already. You've already seen what it takes as part of this challenge. So what you can do with that is elevate what you've gotten here, truly solidify the habits that you've built, build on them more, and really get to the bottom of your goal here as well. Now, if you feel like there's no way, like I struggled through this whole 3-week program, I barely did anything, I feel like I have failed on this. I know, the success rate of these programs isn't 100%, it just is what it is, depending on where you're coming from here. But, if you feel like you've struggled here, what that's telling you is that maybe you need more support and not less, right? maybe you've done this before and you've tried, started strong and ended up giving up. And that is a pretty common thing for most people. But really what they're in need of here is that arm coming, pull them in and actually pull them in the right direction, making sure that they're following through so that they can get through that most challenging part of the changes that they're making. Because honestly, this first stage, this beginning thing that you're going through is the hardest thing. It's the most change happening all at once that you will see, right? And so if you can really just put that focus in on making that happen until these things really just become part of your life and on autopilot, then you're never really going to get past that stage. You really have to push past that. And the biggest thing that helps with that is getting the support to follow through. So like I said, it can be all of these things combined, but I'd really love to see you putting that optimal support into play so that you can really make it past this initial stage, right? Okay, so if you are interested in the program, happy to schedule a strategy call with you. We put them in the emails, the links for that as well. So what we can do is find out if we're a good fit to work together. So I do have an application process, and I do screen people very carefully. So I work very closely with my clients week to week, and so it really needs to feel like a good relationship from both angles. Okay. So we'll be talking about, where you are, strategy wise, what you're implementing already, where your mindset is, what you need. And from there, if it feels like a good fit, we can go ahead and get you enrolled. But sometimes there are other things that need to be into place before you can enter a program like this as well, in order to make sure that you're going to be ultimately successful too. Okay. All right, so that is about it for support. So hopefully you found that interesting. Even just gathered a few things to put together into your support network, but definitely don't let this side of things fall flat in your program, okay? Having that support is really the biggest thing to make everything else come together. So if you have questions about this, absolutely let me know. I'd love to see you booking that strategy call as well. And if you have any questions, feel free to send me an email.